Hey guys, my name is Jason with S&J Forest Products, and on today's video we're going to take this 6-foot chunk of cedar butt here and we're going to turn it into a nice beam. And today I'm going to be using this Timber Tuff little sawmill jig. I haven't tried it before, so let's try it out and see how it works. Alright, we'll take a look at our log here. This thing, for length, is a little over 6 foot, so we got a little bit of trim, which is good. This is the small end, and this is about 20 inches here, and this is all nice, good, solid wood. The butt end down here is looking pretty good. It's got a little bit of punky stuff in there, so because we have some trim, we'll cut that back 6 or 8 inches and see if we can get into nice, good, solid wood there. Well, it doesn't look great here. I mean, there's definitely some punky stuff, and it goes up there rotted. There's a little bit over here as well. The shadows are hard today. All right, guys. Well, it's going to be kind of hard to see, but here's the line I want to cut. Right down there, you can kind of see it. I scribed it on the end of the log. And to do the first cut with this Timber Tuff jig, the roundness of the log is kind of going to prevent me from getting all the way over there, and I'd have to shim it up, and I still don't know if it'd be square. So I'm going to cheat a little bit. I'm going to take the first cut with my Alaskan mill so I can get a nice, flat, smooth surface, and then we can come back and do the other 3 sides with this Timber Tuff jig. I think this log is just kind of too big and too round for this first cut, making this big, huge beam we're going to be working on. We got our guide set up here. We got our log all ready. Chainsaw is in the chainsaw mill there. So we'll take our first slab off the top, and then we'll see about getting this little Timber Tuff 2x6 thing going. All right, guys, so this is how this attaches. There's 3 little Allen screws here, machine screws, that just clamp your bar into this cast U-joint piece here. And I'm a little bit skeptical here, because I don't want to tighten these down too much, because I don't want to break this cast piece. But on the other hand, I want to tighten them down enough so that my bar doesn't slip and my chain catches here on the cast as well. So I'm going to just tighten them down, kind of what I think is right and feels comfortable to me. I've got my board set up here on my nice flat surface, and I'll just run right down the edge of this board and see if we can get a piece sliced off of here that is going to work for us. All right, well, we got that first slab off with that little mill there, little jig. And it's kind of awkward, to be honest with you. I can't really figure out if I want to push it or pull it, or, you know, which hand to use the throttle and which hand to push with. So I'm going to have to just play around with kind of the ergonomics of the whole thing. But the one thing that is really an advantage is the setup time is so fast. I'm gonna take this side off now, and I can just measure from here across to the desired length on both sides. Take a couple screws out, put a couple screws in. It's faster than the Alaska mill for setup. And, you know, here I did a couple of starts and stops. The shadows suck today, so it's gonna be hard to tell. But, you know, I stopped here to try kind of readjust and got a little gouge there. If you want a nice smooth finish, you want to have, you know, ideally the saw at the same angle and the same speed throughout the whole cut. And again, that's just a little bit awkward for me to do on this one. But again, that was my first one. So maybe I can find a spot that I like and get a little bit better. But we'll try this second one, and then we can roll it over and take that last one off and make our cant, and then we'll figure out what to do with the rot in the middle there. Well, a little bit of change of plans here. I had it all set up, and so what I did is I moved my board over 2.5 inches, and I cut another slab off, which is right here. That's 2.5 inches thick, and I cut right to the edge of the rot here. Again, it's hard to see these shadows, but I cut right to the edge of the rot here, and now I've moved my board over again. And I'm going to take a 4.5 inch swath right down here, and I'm going to take all this rot out. I'll get a 4x6 or something out of here, and a 4x6 or 8 out of the bottom, and I'll chunk out all this rot, and then I'll have a big beam over here that we can do something with and square up the bottom edge here and stuff. So still learning kind of the best way to run this thing, but so far it's working pretty good, and the ease of moving stuff around and setting up is so fast that I'm pretty happy with it so far. So let's cut this middle part out, this heart rot, and then we'll see about getting the rest of it cut up into beams and see what we end up with. All right, we got our rotten section out here. Now I'm going to square this side up, and probably what I should have done is just squared the whole cant up first and then taken the rot out, but you live and learn. So we're going to square this beam up here, and then we'll look at processing this one with the rot in it and getting our 2 4x out of it. Here's our haul for today from that 6-foot log we had. And I got this big beam here, which is a 12-inch by 7. I can cut about 6 12-inch boards out of. I got a couple of 4x6 beams there, and then a 2-inch slab. So, you know, it takes a little bit of getting used to with this Timber Tuff Jig, but it saved me a whole lot of time when I'm cutting a bunch of different dimensions in these beams. Whereas those, the Alaskan mills are really great for slabbing and cutting uniform thickness out of a log if you're going to do a bunch of 1 or 2 inch slabs. But if you're going to be cutting around rot and screwing around with different dimensions and lengths, this thing is a time saver, man. A couple of different tips that I've learned just on this. This is the first time I used it, so just on this first log. When you're running down, you want to rack it one way or the other, and it'll give you a little bit different measurement. But if you're going down your guide and you're bouncing back and forth, your log will be a little wavy, or your beam will be a little wavy. So I rack it to the outside, which gives me exactly a 1/2 inch between my board and the edge of my kerf. So it's a really easy measurement to add 1/2 inch to the width of my board, and that'll tell me exactly the width of cut I'm making. But other than that, I think it's a great little tool. It does have its place. There's some things that it probably can't do. Cutting, you know, smaller logs and stuff might be a little bit of a pain. But I really like it. I'm going to add it to my arsenal of tools here. And yeah, I'm just going to keep milling beams as long as you guys keep watching. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.